See your local Buick dealer today.
We removed the battery from the back of the machine. I found an X-Acto knife worked best to remove the 4 plastic or rubber screw covers at each of the 4 corners of the back of the screen to access the screws. Using my screwdriver from Dollar Tree, I remove each of the 4 screws in the corner of the bezel. I collect all of the screws and all of the little parts in a little film can or any container, and I seal it each time for obvious reasons. Being able to see clearly is quite important here, so do whatever you have to do to be able to see what you're doing. Starting with the side of the screen, get a hold of the little gap in the bevel, and it simply snaps in. We're working from the sides to the top. Now we have the bevel loose. Using a flat screwdriver from Dollar Tree, get under the little hinge there and snap it loose on the bottom. On each side, top and bottom, there's 2 screws, a screw on the top and a screw on the bottom of each side holding the frame. We take these 2 screws out of each side. The screen is now free from the chassis, and it will simply lay down on the keyboard. You'll see where the harness plugs into the back of the computer, and where it says all over the place, "Don't touch, don't touch," you need to touch and remove the tape from the plug. Using both glasses and a whole lot of guts, see how the connector goes and see how it snaps in place and snaps out. We have now removed the monitor. Now we have the new monitor. There is some protective covering over the circuitry, which is taped on. We will remove this for now. Wait a minute, I don't think I want to remove the protective covering. I see that the connector here is actually accessible through the plastic covering. It's going to be easy. We will connect it. We'll set this on the computer and get a hold of that harness and figure out how to connect it. Oh, this is so good. Those prongs are going to fit, and there it is. I think it's in. We're going to place that tape carefully back over the connector there, and we're going to insert this screen back in the little side pieces, support pieces here. Leveraging things up to make for easier access, we'll take this X-Acto knife and jack up this one side to access the screw to the hole that it goes into, and it's so nice when the parts have holes that match where they're supposed to be, and this is going together very nicely. Interestingly, on this Toshiba laptop, there are places for 6 screws, 3 on each side, but there were only 4 screws, 2 on each side, in the factory unit, so that's how I'm going to put it back together. The bevel now goes back in place. We will start from the bottom. It snaps in well at the bottom if you lay the screen back. Get the bottom parts snapped in, and everything else should snap back in the way it came out. Do check the bottom of it and make sure those wire harnesses are covered, and they appear to be. It once again looks like a laptop, and fortunately the cats never once jumped up on this table. Now the screws, the 4 screws, go back in the front. Time to check inventory and see how many of those 4 rubber screw covers remain for cosmetics. I see 2 so far. 2 of the plastic screw covers were sandwiched together, so I actually have 3. The 4th screw will remain exposed, and that will be my signature. For preservation of my nerves, when I go to start this up, I'm going to remember to put the battery back in right now. And this is the moment of truth as we go to power up the machine. And there you have it. Now it's time for my nervous breakdown, and then I'm going to play on my computer.